Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. In the next in my series of YouTube experiments, I want to take both sides of a important dilemma regarding careers that people face. And this one is the one about whether you should try to make a living as an artist or a musician or actor or whatever, or make it a hobby. So I'm going to play both roles. I'm going to argue back and forth, so that way, unlike in a regular debate where whoever the better is debater is often the winner, here you're going to have the same debater, but doing my best I can to take both sides. So, a person who is an artist and really feels like in their bones, in their spirit, in their personality, they're an artist, really should make it their career. Because we spend more time during the day doing our career than anything else. So, shouldn't we make that our career? Okay, the other position. The price is so heavy. Poverty sounds, romantic almost in the abstract. But in reality, it's not fun to live with 4 roommates or in a dangerous neighborhood or not afford health care. Or even the small luxuries of life, going out to dinner with friends or whatever. So you can derive most of the benefits of your art by making it a serious hobby. Have a day job that feels appropriate for you, and there are jobs where that artistic personality, mindset, or whatever can be a plus. Most directly, of course, it could be doing something like being a graphic artist. And good graphic artists can make a good living if they can have a business sense, because your job is not to splatter paint on canvases, but to create images that you think will end up making people buy or donate in the case of nonprofits. And now I'm going to flip the other side again. But I'm an artist, and an artist doesn't do very well in most work environments. And for me to, I don't have a natural business sense, and so for me to go and try to acquire that, it's going to be unlikely. So, it's all well and good in theory to say be a graphic artist, but that's not real. Okay, flipping roles. So, there are a million jobs. You're not just an artist. There are many things you theoretically could do. I'm just throwing out some samples. Should you be simply a people-centric government worker, like a Social Security eligibility worker? Should you be should you go to school to learn some healthcare profession? Should you because you're an artist and you're not, that's very much non-profit sensibilities, should you learn how to do nonprofit management or nonprofit advocacy or nonprofit fundraising, or simply being an administrative assistant, where you can incorporate your artistic skills? Flipping back to the other person. Ultimately, this comes down to feeling like it's denying my essence. I'm going to switch back. Yeah, denying your essence, but what about the fact, how much evidence do you have that people are willing to pay for you for your essence? My essence may be like to enjoy movies, but it doesn't mean that that's my career. Maybe you're really not ready to be a responsible adult yet. Maybe you really don't. Artist, now back to the artist. You're right. It's not like anybody's paying me. I sold a photograph for $15 and one of my watercolors for $50, but not that I put my work out there that much, but I put it out there enough. Like my teachers are always mildly encouraging. So they've encouraged my art, but they certainly, didn't make my art when I was in college and I took an art class. There were other students who they put their art all over the walls. They put one of mine in the corner. I'm switching back. So, and you really can't count what your friends or your parents say, or even your teachers. What counts is when an independent source of buying your art, whether it be customers at an art fair or gallery owners, or where there's, you post your work on your website and you're getting lots of sales. Is that you? Do you want to take that risk? Actually, I do. I feel like I'm only 23 years old, and I feel like if I don't give it a shot now, I never will. I can still live with my parents for a while. If I have to, if I get sick of living with them, I can go, live with a bunch of roommates and eat on the proverbial ramen and cat food for a while and give it a shot. Switching roles. Are you really driven enough to do that? You're kind of flaky, like the stereotypical artist. And are you really going to put in the hours to create enough inventory? Are you going to spend enough hours on marketing? By your own admission, you're not a business-oriented person. Are you going to have the confidence to go and to create a website with all your great stuff? Are you going to schmooze the media? Are you going to schmooze fat cats? No, you know what? I'm not going to do any of that. But I don't need a lot of money. I'd rather be poor and an artist than be rich and a business person. Okay, now I'm switching roles. So at least do you want to put a time limit on it? If, let's say, a year from now, you're not getting clear signs that you're going to make at least a subsistence living doing this, should you at least then think about a plan B, or maybe think about the plan B now, and then a year from now you circle a date on your calendar, and if you've made less than, say, $1,000 from your art. And by the way, I remember a Princeton Review article that said that over 90% of artists who call themselves professional artists make less than $2,000 a year from their art. So, do you want to do that? And do you have any idea what your plan B might be? I don't know. Maybe being an art teacher in school. There aren't that many art teachers hired in school, but it's possible. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe in fashion, I like clothing. In fashion, maybe I could learn to do fashion merchandising, either on the job or I take some course or two. Okay. Anything else come to mind? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe a personal organizer. I like helping people organize spaces. And is there really? It sounds like you're not really caring very much whether you're self-supporting. Do you think you can, if this doesn't pay, if any of these don't pay well enough, do you see yourself feeling okay about relying on your parents, on a romantic partner? Switching. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't think I'm ready to make that decision yet. I just know I'm not ready to do a straight job yet. So we'll end this little mini talk by simply asking you, do the best you can to be serious about it. There's a hell of a lot of people who claim to be artists and end up spending very little time on their art, or very little time on the business side, or they create art without any regard to whether the customer is likely to buy it. Now, sure, there are some famous stories of artists, like a Picasso, or a Miro, who, didn't care what anybody thought and just did what they wanted. They became famous and successful. The question is, do you want to play those odds where you do your, I know you like to do abstract work, and do you want to do that, or is there any desire to be somewhat practical? Well, I'm never going to be that driven. I am kind of an artist personality. I'm not that driven. But I'm willing to be a little commercial. I'm very leftist political, so maybe I could do some, the wave is really going leftist now. Maybe I could make some angry socialist kind of feminist, pro-minority kind of art, and maybe that'll work. Well, that certainly is consistent with the times. All right, and perhaps on that point of agreement, maybe this is a good time for us to stop. Of course, I wish you the best.